I'm about to start the program. Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to the Candidates Forum for Barnstable School Committee. I'm Rosemary Shields, a member of the League of Women Voters, and I'm from Harwich. And because I'm from Harwich, I've got no horse in this race. So that's why they had me do this. Okay, the League is a nonpartisan activist grassroots organization for women and men which encourages informed and active participation in government. This forum is part of the League's ongoing voter education effort to help voters make informed decisions for the upcoming November 4th election. We hope over the course of this program you will learn about the candidates and what they hope to do as members of the Barnstable School Committee. So let me introduce our candidates. They are Andre King and Katja Regina D'Acunha. I will start this evening by explaining some procedures for the forum which each candidate received ahead of time. Candidates have 2 minutes for an opening statement, 2 minutes to answer each question, and 1.5 minutes for a closing statement. Opening statements will be given in alphabetical order, and closing statements will be done in reverse alphabetical order. The timekeepers are sitting in the first row. When there's a 1/2 minute left to your speaking time, the timekeeper will hold up a card that says 30 seconds, indicating that you have 30 seconds to finish your answer. Please wrap up by finishing your sentence when you see the stop card. If you continue speaking beyond a sentence after the stop card is held up, I will say thank you and move on to the next speaker. Personal references about other candidates are out of order. We stick to the issues. This forum is being recorded and will be rebroadcast several times on the Barnstable Government Access Station and shown on Xfinity channels 8, 1070, and 1072, as well as on their YouTube channel. I'd like to now address the audience. Please turn off your cell phones and other beeping devices. We request that you treat all candidates fairly. Please remain quiet throughout the forum, no clapping or cheering or calling out, with the exception that after all their closing statements, you may clap for all the candidates if you wish. No campaign literature or signs are allowed inside the room. You are encouraged to submit questions for the candidates on the provided index cards. Questions must be addressed to all candidates and must apply to issues or qualifications for the school committee. Raise your hand if you'd like another index card or have your question collected. A League member will review the questions for legibility, clarity, and applicability to the candidates. I will read as many questions as time allows, sometimes combining similar questions, striving to cover a variety of topics. So let's begin this candidates forum. So you have 2 minutes for an opening statement, and we will start in alphabetical order. So we'll start with Katja Regina D'Acunha.
Thank you. I am glad to be here. Good evening to every one of you. My name is Katja Regina D'Acunha. I was born in Brazil, and we moved to Cape Cod about 22 years ago. My husband was had a calling as a minister to the Brazilian President Church here in Cape Cod, and we came as a family to Cape Cod, and we raised our children here, where we serve our neighbors and we build our community with purpose. So I'm running today for the Barnstable School Community because I believe in something simple but powerful. Every child, every family, every voice. I'm a woman of color, an immigrant, a mother, a grandmother, and a long-time community leader, like many other families who came to Cape Cod, came to this country with hope. My husband and I, we dream to give our children opportunity and a better future. But too often, as many other, we were lack of resources availability. My children missed opportunities, not for lack of effort, but for lack of information. That experience changed me, and I gave me a mission to make sure no parents and no children are left behind. Today, I serve as a counselor and advocate at an independence house, supporting survivors of domestic violence and sexual violence, many of who are served as they have are English, learning English. I'm also a founder of and executive director of Latinx in Action, a nonprofit organization that I started. Art therapy is something that I do also.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. I'm sorry, and now we will hear from Andre. Brian.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
My name is Andre King.
King.
I'm running for re-election for the Barnstable school community. First and foremost, I'm a local person. I'm a Barnstable graduate. That's central to why I set out to become a school committee member and why I want to continue serving the Barnstable public schools, because of the positive impact that it's had on my life. I want to see that continued in the lives of the students, families, and educators of our district. I'm an educator. That's another reason I'm running for Barnstable School Committee with over 15 years of experience. I have worked firsthand in Barnstable public schools at each level of the district as I went on to secure my licensure. So I understand this community. We are a large, we are a diverse, and we are a dynamic community here in Barnstable, and I'm passionate about my work on the school committee, and I want to see that continue moving forward. Specific to what I would like to achieve on the school committee, I believe that student achievement and student retention need to be prioritized and accelerated. I want Barnstable's scores, but it's not just the scores. I want students to feel comfortable, I want them to feel accepted, and I want them to find their why, find their pathway in Barnstable public schools. We are living in a changing world. There are dynamics that have shifted the marketplace that students are going into. But first and foremost, I want students to feel welcomed. I want them to have academic success, and I want them to move on to their next step in this community and in the society overall. Along with that, which we'll talk a little bit more, I'm passionate about keeping students in Barnstable where they can have their best success.
Thank you so much. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our question and answer portion of our forum. I will alternate the order of who gets to answer first, and candidates, please let me know if you need for me to repeat a question. You will have 2 minutes to answer the questions, and we will start with Katja D'Acunha. So, what do you consider the biggest challenge facing our schools?
Barnstable Schools does have over 52% of the students are second language speaker. So the challenge that I see is language. It is communication between the parents, families being at the table. This is the challenge I see.
Thank you. So, Andre King.
Yes, for me, I see the greatest challenge for Barnstable Public Schools is our student achievement and making sure that is, it grows and accelerates, right? We're a school district, okay? It's our charge to, at the elementary level, take children, I work at the elementary level, teaching 3 to 5, and turn them into students, okay? And then to foster and guide their development as young people onto graduation. I believe Barnstable's responsibility to the students needs to be first and foremost. That's central to what we are. We need to stay focused on that. There are a number of issues that impact the schools, but again, first, foremost, and most notably, we're a school district and we need to be focused on student success. I feel that we are moving in the right direction in terms of the pathways and offerings that we have in the district. that are second to none in the region, our AP offerings, our pathways, the opportunities that we provide for the student, I feel needs to be recognized and highlighted, and we can always do better. But first and foremost, the number one challenge for a school district is to put students in a position to be successful, and that's my foremost priority.
Thank you. Okay, the second question, we'll start with Andre King, and then we'll go to Katya Tacunia. In your professional life, what has prepared you best to be on the school committee?
Thank you. Well, I'm an educator, so I'm in the classroom on a day-to-day basis. I see the public school system from the ground floor, and that's what motivated and inspired me to run for school committee, and I believe that that is a perspective that is crucial and essential for these bodies when they are making decisions that affect entire school districts. Now, listen, the public schools interact with the community in a variety of ways. We are a hub for many activities, talking about facilities, which we'll get to going forward. So our schools do a number of things in the community that supports the development and growth of children, adults, everyone that lives in the township. But specifically, as an educator, I believe the decisions that we're making need to reflect the realities that are taking place in real time. And sometimes there is a gap between the decision makers on the school committee and the 5,000 students across 13 grades, including kindergarten, 700 staff members, and that you put in place policies that are not necessarily reflective of what people are going through. So that's a perspective that I have in terms of the decisions the school committee makes.
Thank you. Ms. Tacunia.
Thank you. I'm a mom. I'm a mother, a community leader. I'm a listener, and I am an immigrant. So living in Barnstable, and I saw my kids, what they went through, and I'm listening what's happening right now. But in my background, I'm a teacher also. So I feel prepared for this task, and I listen to what Andre is saying, and I agree with him. Not disagree with, and I see we have to making sure that the voices of our kids, the voice of the families needs to be heard. We have to serve what they need. It's not the making decision table needs to be filled of the interaction of the families. That's what we need. Every voice, every child needs to be heard.
Thank you. Okay, the next question we'll start with Katya and Katya Tacunia, and then to Andre King. The question is, do we need new schools? If so, where would you build them? And if not, why are our schools the right fit for us? So do we need new schools? And if not, why are our schools the right size, the right fit?
I would like to come back with a study about more to answer this question, because I'm really concerned with the development, like how our kids are growing, how they are not at the size of the school, but what they are receiving is my concern right now. If we have to building more schools, I really gonna pass this questions and bring back.
Okay, Andre King.
Yes, thank you. What we need is the community's input in terms of the decision about whether we need to build a new building or whether we need to keep what we have currently. Facilities is a foremost issue in many districts, but specific to Barnstable Public Schools. It's important for the community and the taxpayers to recognize that 60 cents of every dollar of taxpayer money goes to the school. And a growing percentage of those funds are devoted to our facilities and keeping them in the condition that they need to be. Our school system has highly effective and capable buildings, but we have older buildings, specifically at the elementary level, where many of these installations were built in the post-World War II era. They're not newer, younger buildings, and what it takes to keep them in the shape that they need to be in order to deliver high-quality instruction for our students and then also the community events is growing. And so that is the balancing act that our school district is currently facing. To your specific question, this is a community conversation. It's not something that the school committee needs to dictate in terms of we need to build a new building and we're going to go and we demand an override and this is what you're going to do. No, we need feedback from the community in terms of how they want to navigate this cost-benefit analysis. But it is a current reality that our buildings, we have 9 school buildings, specifically our elementary buildings, are older and require more and more maintenance. And so the conversation about how that 60 cents of every taxpayer dollar is being spent relative to maintaining aging buildings or having the conversation about newer buildings, which I would mention, you see a number of neighboring districts building new facilities and having these conversations.
Thank you. So the next question, we'll start with Andre King, and then we'll go to Katja da Cunha. The question is, do we need more technical school-type education in the Barnstable Public Schools?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We need to offer as many pathways for our students as possible, and that's something that's taking place. We have a tremendous culinary program. We have a tremendous nursing program. We've added a fire internship program. We are the lone school district in the region to offer a JROTC program to students so they can go and take part in the training and the discipline. There is no requirement in our JROTC program for the students to go on to military service, but they have the opportunity to get the training and the perspective while they're in high school. More and more young people are deciding not to go to 4-year colleges. That's a reality for a number of factors. Never mind how our economy and world is changing because of new technologies such as artificial intelligence. So the idea of a traditional 4-year high school education, 4-year college education, move on, it's changing. And so we need to offer students pathways that reflect the realities that they're experiencing. This is something that we have done in Barnstable, and I believe we need to do more. We're capable of doing more to offer both academic and vocational pathways for our students.
Thank you.
Yes, I do believe that it is every voice needs to be heard. And again, we have to bring the families to the table. We have to hear from the kids. We have to hear from the families. We have to hear from the 52% of the Barnstable students. They speak a second language. What they want to do, what type of professions they want, and now offering to them what they want. Yes, I agree. We have to offer more, and it is a diversity, and may change what is offering right now. And I do want them also to be offered the possibility to go to university. Yes, that it is not being this motivation this much. Yes, we want to. So yes.
Thank you. Okay, the next question will start with Katja da Cunha and then Andre King. The question is, how can the school committee and the town council work together to plan for the district's financial stability and facilities management?
Take a village to build. So the more we work together, we sit and we a partnership is what is the way is the strong we build things. So we have to sit together. We have to strengths or laces. It is important. We cannot do alone. So the town is an important piece, and the more diverse we are, even in the town, together we can build. We have to work together.
Okay. Andre King.
Yes, thank you. The school committee and the town council do need to work together, and we are working together to look at both our facilities and our town-wide challenges. And so the school committee and the town council, we have an annual budget meeting where the two bodies meet together to look at the town budget, and relative to our school budget and then the overall. So those things are taking place. To your point, I believe we need to continue and accelerate this conversation. We have representatives from the town council that are specifically tasked to the school committee that the members are in touch with. But bottom line is that with the projects that are taking place in the town, specifically the sewering project, okay, the resources for everybody are not what they were previously. And so each particular department within the town needs to be very sensitive to the overarching projects that are taking place in the town and then how that affects your particular budget. So yes, these conversations are important. They are taking place. I'm for them taking place on a more consistent level. As a member of the facilities subcommittee, we meet with groups like CFAC to talk about our facilities relative to the town's overall financial picture. And we need to be working hand in hand and not in our own different silos. And this is something that I'm for, and I'm receptive to doing it more to make sure that we're making the best use of the taxpayer dollars.
Thank you. The next question, we'll start with Andre King and then go to Ms. DeCunha. Community engagement. Are you satisfied with the level of community engagement in the life of our school district? How should the district increase communication with the public?
Never satisfied. We can always do more to reach out and to build those partnerships, but I am pleased with the community engagement that is taking place in the district and our receptiveness, our mindfulness of the importance of partnering with individual families and community organizations as much as possible in terms of what we're doing. How does this take place? If you look at town-wide events such as Unity Day, you're going to see representatives from Barnstable Public Schools in one capacity or another at these events. I believe many of the town events take place within our schools. I think about the Cape Cod Symphony. I think about the pickleball courts connected with West Village's elementary school. So there's many different types of partnerships to engage the community. We can talk about our website. We can talk about our use of social media. We can talk about how the district communicates with parents on a consistent basis in terms of what's happening that day, but then also to provide messaging about many school events that are taking place. We can always do more. And this is first and foremost in the mind of a school district. Yes, it does take a village to raise and to send off children. We're doing a tremendous amount, but we cannot allow ourselves to drop the ball and feel that we have mastered this community. It's constantly evolving, and we need to constantly be receptive to what students, what families are experiencing in the community, and how we can do better. So our practices are good now, and we need to continue to be mindful and focused on them.
Thank you. Ms. DeCunha.
Yeah. I'm not satisfied, and reason why I'm here, and reason why I'm running, and as Andrea said, we can do better, especially with with this 52% of the students at the Barnstable School that needs to their families need to be included, their voice needs to be heard, and it is ways that we can do better. I am currently working with the superintendent, Sarah Ahern, in a project of a safe planning with the families. I'm very pleased and happy that it's happening right now. So we are partnering, being one of the partner, but we need to do more. It's my goal that we would increase that. Communication is important. It's a big piece.
Thank you. The next question, we'll start with Mr. Cunha and then Mr. King. Do you think that our Barnstable school system is supporting diversity both, not only for the students, but for the staff and the administration in representation?
We need to, it's a difficult conversation. And I really would like to that it will continue and grows. I wish that we would have more teachers that will represent a diversity. We need to have teachers that it is diverse. We need to have more of the diversity there. I would like to get better, and it's not what my dream yet. So that's one of my goals. I'll be fighting for that.
Okay, thank you. Mr. King.
Yes, I do believe that Barnstable Public Schools is serious about supporting its diverse student body and also its diverse educators. We're serious about it, and there's work to be done. This is an initiative at the local and the statewide level to recognize that the public schools should reflect their communities. I want to be very clear. When we're talking about our students, we want high standards for our students. And when we're talking about our staff members, we want those same high standards for our staff members. But if we're looking at a school district that's becoming increasingly diverse, and these are the young people that we're sending off into the world, what I'm saying and what I've been saying since I started on the school committee and as I've been an educator, these are your educators of the future that are walking right out of your school doors, getting on that podium, getting their diploma, and going off into society. So in terms of the idea of growing your own, I don't believe when we have conversations regarding staff diversity, many times you hear things like housing, and you hear things like we can't find people, and we're looking in these days. Why don't we look in the classrooms in the very buildings that we already have? Barnstable is a large, Barnstable is a diverse, Barnstable is a dynamic community. And so our numbers of educators, I believe, can increase, not by giving anybody something that they didn't earn, but by continuing to foster the improvement and success of the people that are right here, so that they can then turn around and give back to Barnstable Public Schools as educators. We see this very much in terms of our staff. Many staff members, like myself, are Barnstable graduates. They're proud to have graduated from Barnstable. They want to come back and give to their community. So there are ways that we can do this in a seamless fashion. And again, we are not lowering any standards. We want the best and brightest, and those people are right here in Barnstable.
Okay, thank you. The next question, I'll start with Andre King and then go to Katja de Cunha. And you anticipated it. Housing, how does Cape Cod's housing situation affect school staffing?
Yes, thank you. It's a challenge for our workforce and for many of the workforces on the Cape and Islands. We're not different than the police. We're not different than fire. We're not different than our healthcare system. When we have something that people are attracted. They want to come to the Cape. They're intrigued. They're interested in working on the Cape. But then the inevitable question of where will I live and how much will it cost? And so we are impacted like every other workforce, and we need to work together with the other organizations that are facing these challenges to come up with common sense solutions that can tackle this problem. And I think that's taking place. That's something that can be a part of the conversation relative to our facilities, relative to what we do if we decide to build a new building, okay? What we do with the land and the space where an old installation was. So these are conversations that we can have to address this central issue. We want the best people here, but they're facing a challenge relative to where to live and how much it will cost.
Thank you, Mr. Cunha.
Yeah, this is again, it's a conversation, and it is a group of people and the town, and when we have to work together because we want the best for our community. We want the best for our kids. We want the best for all of all of us. So housing is a huge problem, and we cannot have like workers affording living here the way it is today. It is a reality. So it's a work to be done for all of us. We have to work on that to get better.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to have to ask the candidates to help me with the pronunciation. I don't know how to, is it MCAs or is it MICAs? Or talking about the assessment, the MCA?
MCAS.
Thank you. What is it?
Yes.
MCAS. Duh.
MCAS.
I apologize to the audience and to you. MICAS. Is that right? MCAS. Sorry. MCAS. Without MCAS, the burden of assessing competency falls on individual districts. How is Barnstable meeting this challenge? And, I forgot to say, so we start with Mr. Cunha and then to Mr. King. So how does Barnstable meet the challenge without MCAS? Without MCAS, how do we meet that challenge?
Wow. I do think that our kids can be tested in a different way. It's just the MCAS doing this huge test doesn't prove their intelligence, doesn't prove. And it is, that's what I believe.
Okay, thank you. Mr. King?
Yes, in terms of the standard for graduation, we need to have a comparable standard for our students that are graduating high school to the MCAS. Just to inform the community that this was a ballot question, a recent ballot question, in terms of whether MCAS will be a graduation requirement, whether you needed to pass the MCAS in order to receive a high school diploma. And it was a close vote, 55% to 45%, but the citizens of Massachusetts decided that the MCAS does not need to be a requirement in order for you to receive the diploma. Therefore, the responsibility of determining what a high school graduate must achieve now falls to the districts. And we have hundreds of districts in the state now tasked with this responsibility rather than a unifying standard in order for us all to see what students will know when they move on and graduate high school. We need a high standard. And I think the MCAS standard, I did not believe it was insurmountable to require students to pass the MCAS test in order to graduate. I thought that it gave us a universal standard. The decision is the decision. We don't have that. It's important for the community to realize those test scores, though, still reflect your community. So those upperclassmen, those seniors still taking MCAS, even though it doesn't recount, we still, that data still reflects your district. So it's an important assessment, and it does have a place. Is it the end-all, be-all in terms of what takes place in education? No, but to your question about our standard for a high school graduate, it needs to be comparable to what the MCAS required, so that we have confidence that our students have the capabilities and the resources and the competencies that they need in order to move forward in the next phase of their life.
Thank you so much. Okay, the next question will start with Andre King and then go to Katja Tacunia. How will the school committee maintain funding for extracurricular activities in the schools? And what are some of your favorite extracurricular activities?
School committee will maintain funding by being very aggressive in our grant applications in order to make sure that every possible dollar of state funding allowable comes into Barnstable Public Schools so that we can have as wide offering of extracurricular activities as possible. This is an area where not just Barnstable, but many districts have faced challenges relative to the state budget and the end of pandemic-related funding. So the monies that are coming into districts has changed as those what we call ESSER funds have ended. These were funds that districts receive relative to the pandemic. And so in order to maintain the levels of offerings that a district has, you have to now go out and find other resources. I think we do a good job, and we are very aggressive and proactive when it comes to finding grants to fund these extracurricular activities. I do believe we have community members that are already contributing to our extracurricular activities and will contribute more. You asked me a very difficult question, but because our co-curricular activities are off the charts. And so, yes, I'm an avid sports fan, and so our sports teams and their offerings and what they're doing in the community is tremendous. But our drama program is second to none, and our DECA program is second to none. All right, and there's just a host of programs that students have the opportunity to connect with that are currently funded, and we need to go after that grant funding and also be receptive to community members who appreciate these programs and how they've impacted their families so that they can continue in perpetuity.
Thank you. Mr. Cunha?
Yeah, the question is, could you repeat the question, please?
Of course. How will the school committee maintain funding for extracurricular activities in the schools? And what are some of your favorite extracurricular activities?
So, as Andrea mentioned, it is those grants, and I haven't been to the school committee yet, so how they are getting those funds, but I presume it's through those grants, and they are doing. So, but my favorite activities, I like the sports also. So, but what at the high school they're doing there that I really like to invest more would be more on the sewing and all those things. It is my passion, so that it is not a sport, but it's a craft. So we'll change from different activities, but it's a craft we'll call it as a sport, so there'll be something to be invested. I would like to.
Thank you. How at risk, so let me, next question, it starts with Mr. Cunha and then to Mr. King. How at risk are Barnstable Public Schools due to the school choice option? How much at risk are the Barnstable Public Schools due to the ability for families to pick another school choice option?
If I speak for my communities, it is again not clear. So I am advocating for more clarity of choices because it is not clear.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I see this as a challenge. It can be framed as a risk, but I see it as a challenge, and it is. It's a prominent challenge, but something that I'm passionate about, and I feel that we are addressing and mindful of. The fact of the matter is that Sturgis Public Charter School, annually ranked as one of the top, if not the top, high school in the state of Massachusetts, is on the same street as Barnstable High School. Sturgis West is on West Main Street, along with Barnstable High School. And this is a school, I remember its inception, a few hundred students on Main Street. Sturgis Public Charter School has at or above 800 students. It's grown considerably over the years. And their rankings, and I'm for all, but you need, I don't believe it's a risk. I believe it's a challenge, and it's something that I'm passionate about as a Barnstable graduate, as a former Barnstable educator, to make the case to our students and families about what we have to offer in Barnstable. I don't run from school choice. I'm glad that this is the reality, this is the marketplace that we're in. It's the reality. So, a lot of times the way it was when I was in school, when Barnstable had well over 2,000 students and you didn't have, this is the modern reality, and I'm up for the challenge. And you have to, and I believe that we are, make the case in terms of why your student, why your family should remain in Barnstable compared to what other options are out there. So we are in a very competitive educational landscape. I think that's great for everybody. It gives students and families options, and it keeps school districts from the school committee level all the way down into the classroom on their toes in terms of best practices and putting students in a position to be successful.
Thank you. Okay, the next question, we'll start with Andre King, and then we'll have Katja de Cunha. I know there has been a persistent mold problem in the schools, especially in West Elementary. Can you tell me how you would work with the town council to leverage funds available through the green community designation?
I'm ready to work immediately with the town to leverage these funds to make sure that every dollar available to address the mold situation at Barnstable United Elementary School is leveraged so that we can keep this building safe and then keep the community informed. It's a notable challenge, something that really came to a head last summer. Barnstable United Elementary School started 2 days late. Because of the mold challenge going into not this school year, but the previous school year, and there was a number of there was much concern, understandably, and much work at that school relative to the mold to make sure that it's safe and that the community feels that it's safe. I believe that the indoor air quality testing and communication with the parents has alleviated some of the concern, but it's something that continues, and it's something that we are doing, that we are communicating, and it's something we need all hands on deck to make sure that this situation is surrounded, so to make sure that it's mitigated, and hopefully to make sure that it's ended going forward. So the funding is important, and then also the indoor air quality assessments, which are available to community members via our website, are something that I think we need to continue so that people are clear in terms of what's taking place in our schools. They have the accurate information, and they feel safe, comfortable, and confident sending their students into Barnstable Public Schools.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and Ms. de Cunha, the mold problem in in the elementary school.
It's sad, but so to learn that it is, you send your child to a school in this condition, so it's urgent. We have to do something, and I will do my best, time-wise, to meet, to do whatever needs to be done, and in meetings and building bridge to make happens that the problem can be solved, and we can do so our kids can go to a safe space, can go to a place where they can stay. And this is part of also the community to know what's happening. The families know exactly what happened with their kids. Family need to know what's happening. And our families need to know what's happening at their school. Many of our families doesn't know that.
Thank you. Next question is, we have so many immigrant families and we'll start with Mr. Cunha and then with Andre King. We have so many immigrant families in Barnstable. How do we reach out to these families so they understand the American culture to the degree to give their children the ability to thrive here?
Yeah, so it's, the school could have, simple meetings is small, doesn't mean, 20 people, 10 people, it reached one-on-one or a small group of people to talk, to have small workshops. And there can be numerous ways to reach the families, but need to be intentionally. You may need to translate. You may need to, you cannot send to a family who speaks Portuguese anything translate in Spanish. And for a long time, when I first came, things will be sent to my home and Spanish, and I speak Portuguese. And I now, yes, I can read and speaking, but for a time I couldn't. So you have to be sensitive to that. It needs to be in their language, and they may be able to read, but they cannot understand what you're speaking. So you have to be intentionally serving each one and their needs. So I feel like if you want to touch to the family, do like it is individually. You have to think about that. It's hard, it is, but it's the way you're going to reach.
Thank you.
Yes, I believe that we are mindful of our immigrant communities and reaching out to these communities in the language of origin so that they can understand our district communication and that they can understand it, receive it, and then we can have that strong partnership. To your question about this cross-cultural exchange and our newcomers to the Cape and then maybe the country understanding American culture, I think we don't need to change anything about who we are in Barnstable. I think welcoming these students and these families into the school district is giving them a firsthand understanding of some of the best that American culture has to offer. So the idea that you belong in Barnstable, which is a slogan and which is a lived reality on a day-to-day basis, that our families that are local. My grandfather emigrated from the Cape Verde Islands at the turn of the 19th century. Or people that moved here more recently. Some of my best friends moved here from different parts of the world. We became fast friends and are to this day. And that interaction, that symmetry just took place through us day to day, being in the school system, getting to know each other, playing on the same sports teams, going to the same community functions. And so that... again, that rich cross-cultural exchange, I think we just need to be who we are in Barnstable and welcoming our students, welcoming our families, and trying to put them in as best possible position to be successful. The translation services are helpful. That's a very important point of information from Katia about sometimes the translation service. We need to do better. And we need more languages, frankly, what I can say, working in a very diverse district of New Bedford. We have Spanish, we have Portuguese, but there are other languages of our students that, if possible, we can have translated for them so they can get the information, so they can feel comfortable in Barnstable and move on to their future success.
Thank you. Okay, the next question will start with Andre King and then go to Regina Tacunha. It says, in a few words, what is your overall fiscal strategy for the school for this fiscal year?
We need to be mindful. We need to recognize the economic realities in Barnstable and then statewide in terms of what's available. Specific to Barnstable, the sewer project is if not the priority in the town. Therefore, the different departments are going to have to be mindful and intentional about what we have and be proactive about the possibility that it may decrease going forward. And so we need to be mindful and we need to be intentional about stretching every dollar, just given the local and then the statewide, national implications of what's available for public education.
Thank you. Ms. Tacunha.
Yes, I would use the word that he used, to be mindful of the pain of the struggle that many of our families are going through right now with what's going on in our country, what's going on in our city, with what the immigrant families are facing. So kids, children afraid to go to school, parents afraid to send them to school. So to give them a safe, not just certainty, because we cannot be certain they will be safe going to school, but that we will have the most retention in school, and that's what we have to be mindful about that. How to keep them in school.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, we'll start with Mr. Cunha and then Andre King. And it's sort of a follow-up with this question. Beyond taxes, how might you seek out creative ways to save or raise money to pay for school projects? So that, Mr. Cunha, you go first.
Mm-hmm. I like to have participation of the families and in the school. So it's great when we can do things and be part of that and say, "Oh, that's not much money," but it is like you do some. There are projects we can fund, we can be part of. See, I grew up. In a school back home where we did what we needed at school. We didn't have fund from the government, and we did it. So that's what I'm looking for. I think we own, and when we work together, we build things. So that's why I would like to the families come to the school. We all need to be there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Beyond taxes, we need to be proactive in terms of grants and donations that are available from the community relative to our budget. Something that's taken place during my time on the school committee that I also feel has been innovative relative to the budget is that when we have positions that are kind of hard to fill, positions, and we're not seeing people that are stepping up, sometimes those positions will be So, for instance, if we have 2 part-time positions and we can't fill them for a number of reasons, those positions will be combined to create 1 full-time position that may then attract a candidate who could come into the district. So things of that nature, kind of looking at our budget and areas where we do have unspent capital that's not being deployed for possibly a staffing reason, possibly we had funding for something that's no longer there. Those available funds, utilize them, funnel them into some of our existing programs, some of our existing opportunities to allow for the available resource, the available dollars to be expanded as far as possible. But to your essential point, the taxpayers can only do so much, and you have to live within those budget realities. Those are the conversations that we've been having over the last year or two, most notably. Those may be the same conversations that we're having going forward. It's important for everyone to be aware of that. These difficult decisions. You know, nobody wants to see a reduction in force, specifically when you have educators on the school committee that understand the realities of those things. But it's all relative to the funding that we have, the limits for what the taxpayer can offer, and then us as a district being very intentional and, dare I say, aggressive about grants, and then about making the appeal to people that would be interested in investing in education. Why should they give to Barnstable relative to other districts? We need to make the best possible case.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And I have run out of questions. You've done really great. So now we're going to go to our closing statements. You have 1.5 minutes, and we will start with Andre King.
Thank you so much. So I'm running for re-election on the Barnstable School Committee to continue serving the students, the families, and the educators of the town of Barnstable to make our schools and our town the best it can be. This is who I am, graduated from Barnstable High School. Okay? I've lived in this community for decades. Before I decided to run for public office, I was very invested in the community in a number of different capacities, number of different civic organizations. I believe in Barnstable. I want our town to be the best it can be, and I want our schools to give the students the same opportunities that I had to be successful, that we have the best course offerings, that we in Barnstable can be proud, that we are offering comparable, if not better, than what the neighboring districts are offering, and that our students and our families and our educators feel proud to be in Barnstable Public Schools, and it's something that they feel is a sense of achievement, right, to make it into Barnstable, and they see themselves having future success through Barnstable Public Schools. For our students to go ahead and get on that stage and walk across and to get their diploma, for our families, right, who have their students go through the process and then feel that shared sense of connection and achievement, and certainly for our educators to come to Barnstable, to stay in Barnstable, to retire in Barnstable. Across the board, I want people to believe in Barnstable and for us to be the best we can be.
Thank you. And Ms. DeCunha, closing statement.
Thank you. So I'm running for school committee because I'm proud, I'm happy, I'm blessed to call Cape Cod my home, to call Barnstable my home, to have raised my kids here. And I love here. I love to be here. I love to be part of this community. And I want to make difference. And I want to find for my grandkids, I want them to go to a school where they can have what maybe my kids didn't have at the time. So I want to, every child is seen. I want every family is valued. I want to a school with every voice is heard. So that's why I'm running. And I really would like to have your support to remember that I, like to make a difference and take a village, and I need you.
Thank you very much. Let's give the candidates a round of applause. Thank you so much. I'd like to close this forum by thanking the candidates for choosing to run and for their participation in our democratic process. Thank you for running and giving the voters a choice. We really appreciate that. To the audience, a reminder, the town election is on Tuesday, November 4th. Polls are open at 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Go to the Barnstable Town Clerk's website where you may check for your polling place. And if you need a mail-in ballot, the application is on the town clerk's website, and you can also just go to the town clerk and ask for a mail-in ballot, and you might right there be able to vote. But they have the ballots right now. So the last day to register to vote is Friday, October 24th. So remember to vote on Tuesday, November 4th, and remember that democracy is not a spectator sport. It's a superpower to vote and be a hero. So thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you.